Hey guys, what is going on? Let's talk about this Chargers versus the Washington football team game. So, we're going to talk about the Chargers here first because the Chargers finally won a close game. Let's go! Let's clap it up for the Chargers, yeah. And I'm not being sarcastic at all when I clap there because it's very important to win these close games, and I honestly felt bad for Chargers fans last season because they lost so many heartbreakers. They were in so many close games, so many competitive games with teams that were really good like the Chiefs and Buccaneers, and they lost. And other games they just lost to not as good teams just like at the last second. They couldn't close games. But in this first game, with Staley as head coach, they're in a close game with a playoff team from last season, the Washington football team, versus this very good defense. And they're able to close it out and win. And I think that's just huge. I think that puts so much confidence in this team. You know, they're under this new head coach, and they finally get over something that was an issue last season, a big issue. And what I love about how the Chargers won this game is they were aggressive in the final minutes of this game when they had a 4-point lead. They were aggressive. There was 5 minutes and 29 seconds left in this game. They had a 3rd and 16 at their own 12. The Chargers had a 3rd and 16 at their own 12. And they stayed aggressive, threw the ball, and got a first down. Justin Herbert with a great pass to Keenan Allen. They get the first down, and they keep the clock moving, and they keep possession of the ball. You know, the Chargers, at that point, 3rd and 16, very close to their own end zone. They could have played it safe. They could have, run the ball, just try to, run some time off the clock, and just hope, Washington, their second string quarterback, doesn't come down and score a touchdown, right? They could have done that, but they didn't. And I love that they didn't do that because you don't win football games being conservative. You don't win like that. They said, we're going to put this win in our own hands. We're going to keep the ball in our offense's hands, and we're going to go for this. We're not going to play conservative. We are going to play to win this game, and we are not going to give the ball back. We're not going to worry about the clock here. We're just going to play to win. We're going to keep possession of this ball. We're not giving the ball back to Washington, and I loved that. I love that. And even after their 3rd and 16, I just spit. I always feel like I need to say when I spit because I always talk like very passionately. But listen, I was so happy to see this from the Chargers because even after their 3rd and 16, they continued to play aggressive. They continued to throw the ball. They didn't just put the ball in Austin Eckler's hands and say, okay, just run it on the first 2 downs, then we'll throw it. Let's just try to run time off the clock here. No, they did not do that. They continued to throw the ball, and I loved that. I just can't get over how much that makes me happy, like that the Chargers were aggressive. They let Justin Herbert do his thing. He had some big 3rd down conversions. He really did. And you just gotta love what you saw if you're a Chargers fan. Being aggressive at the end of the game, letting Herbert throw the ball, not just trying to run down the clock as much as you can, not being predictable for the defense. It was a great first game for the Chargers and a great first game as a head coach for Staley. I mean, Herbert, he had 337 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The interception wasn't that great. It was in the red zone. The officiating was a little weird in this game, like the fumble they called on Herbert. I didn't really agree with that. I thought he was in a throwing motion already. Keenan Allen, he had 100 yards. And listen, the O-line played well enough, and I think that's a big thing. Going up against this Washington defense, especially this Washington defensive line is just straight scary. I mean, come on. And, the Chargers offensive line, they played well enough. I know they dealt with some injuries, and I know at one point in the game, the announcer said that the Chargers offensive line that was out there, none of those players, were starters last season or had played together last season, something along those lines. So I know, the offensive line was kind of a little bit of an issue last year. They drafted Slater to help protect Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert, he also did what he had to do. He got the ball out quick. He was not just sitting back there with the ball being like, la, 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 I'm going to wait for someone to get all the way down the field. He got the ball out quick, and he did what he had to do. So just a good all-around effort from this Chargers team. Also, the Herbert flow is back. I feel like we can't underestimate that in this win. The Herbert flow has to be a good luck charm. I mean, just seeing Herbie's flow coming out of the back of the helmet, it makes the guy look way cooler. And I feel like the flow might have something to do with the win not to be superstitious. So let's talk about the Washington football team here. And I saw a Washington football team fan, I forget what your name was, comment on my Giants video being like, we played bad too, we're gonna lose to you guys next week. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I think the Giants played way worse than the Washington football team. I think this wasn't such a bad loss for the Washington football team. I know it's upsetting to lose after you had the lead in this game, but it wasn't such a bad loss. I feel like people forget how good this Chargers team can be this year, how good Justin Herbert was last year because of, like I said, those close losses, just losing the game at the last second. Listen, they lost by 4 points. The Washington, they lost by 4 points, and that's not terrible for this Chargers offense. The Washington football team, they played this game for the majority of the time with their backup quarterback, Heineke, who, didn't get first team reps this week. It's week 1. He's not getting first team reps. And his stats weren't bad. He was 11 for 15 with 122 yards and a touchdown. The big issue with Washington was they never got the ball back at the end of the game. That was the big issue. And that's really because the Chargers went for it. The Chargers played aggressive. And I don't think we need to be super concerned right now about this Washington defense that they didn't give, the Chargers the chance to get the ball back. The Washington football team offense the chance to get the ball back and never really stop the Chargers. I think that more is, on the Chargers playing really well and playing really aggressive. It's week 1. I don't want to have any overreactions here, but if you're a Washington football team fan, I wouldn't be super upset over this loss because there were definitely some good things. And now we know Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's heading to the IR, I believe. His season, it's not over officially or anything yet. No one said it's a season-ending thing with his hip. But now Heineke, he's going to get first-team reps in practice and such. And yeah, if you're a Washington football team fan, don't freak out over this loss because the Chargers, they're a very good team in my opinion. You guys know I've been saying Justin Herbert could be an MVP candidate. I have the Chargers making the playoffs. And yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Let me get a bolt up in the chat if you are a Chargers fan. And I'm curious, are Chargers fans more from San Diego or more from LA? I'm curious where the majority of the Chargers fan base is. So that is it for this video, guys. Make sure to drop a like and comment down below letting me know what you thought of this game. If you're a Chargers fan, how happy are you with this win? Do you feel like the Chargers have finally passed, losing at the last second? And if you're a Washington football team, how do you feel about this team going forward? Are you not super concerned about this loss? Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't be so concerned. It's week 1. There's no reason to have, week 1 overreactions, even though we all do it because we haven't seen football in so long. So it's just natural to overreact to the first game of the season. That is it, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Peace out.